very special guests, Roger Glover and Ian Gillan from Deep Purple. Were the days as wild as we all hoped they were?
Yeah. I think we didn't think they were wild at the time, but I mean, we were unleashed, really. As I said, when you're that age, you're immortal anyway. You think you're immortal, and you have a certain power, if you like. You're free financially. You can do an awful lot of things, but you also have this amazing confidence, and I mean, it crosses over into many aspects of life, not only musical, but into your behaviour patterns as well. And you don't realise sometimes it takes a little while to grow up. I mean, you do behave like cretins at times. I did, certainly, many times.
Did
every
you?
day.
Yeah. So I was a fairly shy teenager, and joining a band. I think Ian said the right word. It empowers you. You have a certain power. You're in the band, and if you're in the band,
That's it.
you can pretty much do anything you want because there are people there to protect you, to get you out of any mess you get into.
Did you abuse the power?
Probably.
Not knowingly, but probably, yeah. Yeah, I think it was. I don't think there was any unkindness. Let's put it that way. I don't think there was anything other than, wow, like running loose in a chocolate factory. I think that's basically what it was. I mean,
No, I think I just fell in love a lot.
yeah, yeah, quite meaningfully. Yeah.
We were talking about those delayed guitar solos.
Extended guitar solos. Yes.
Extended. You didn't particularly mind if the guitar solo went on for a while.
Not always. No, there was always something to do. I mean, it was
Something to do.
I know what you were getting at.
Well, I just have to ask you. The story, the legend is that during one of those lengthy guitar solos of Ritchie's, that you clambered under a Steinway, and I suppose there just happened to be a woman there.
Well,
I guess they just lay round under Steinways.
Yeah, littered with them. Interesting thought. But in fact, I remember this thing being on the stage because we weren't allowed to remove it. It was the Theatre Steinway.
Talking about the girl or the piano?
Yeah, there was a fixator. It was a fixture, and they had this green canvas cloth over it that was so far from the ground, and the solo looked as if it was one of those nights you couldn't quite tell how long it was going to be, so I thought I'd better not go down the pub that night. So there was a girl standing on the side of the stage. So we leapt under the Steinway, and I think that it was a very nice solo.
Yeah, well, so it's true. What you're telling me is true.
Yeah, it's all true. Yeah.
I never heard with you blokes much about drugs. Heard an awful lot about booze. What about drugs? Did you get in
We were pretty much a drug-free band.
Pretty much. We were totally drug-free, actually, in those days.
Well, I was known as a stinking hippie because I'd actually had a joint.
Oh, you'd had a joint, yeah, that's right.
But no, we were a drinking band. My favourite drink was, a bottle of can of Coke, pour half of it out and fill it up with scotch.
That's what we used to do. We weren't allowed to take alcohol in a lot of the clubs in the early days, so we used to take this Scotch and Coke. That's how it became a musician's drink, because it just looked like a bottle of Coke, but it would really be Scotch and Coke.
So did you spend quite a lot of time on stage drunk?
Actually, no. You can't really play very well when you're drunk. More importantly, you can't hear very much. I've been on stage drunk, and you can hear everything, but you can't hear it in balance. So you've got no really clue what's going on. But you'd have a little bit of, a certain amount just to loosen up to get on stage, but the real drinking always took place afterwards.
We developed a great tolerance to alcohol, and we were very rarely drunk. We just drank a lot, and there's a big difference.
By the sound of it, to sit here and talk about it now and laugh about it now, because you both have a sense of humour about it, which is terrific. It all sounds like it was up all the time. But did you ever get moments of depression?
Oh, yeah.
About what?
Yeah. I remember once going nuts. We were on one of these endless American tours where you play 5 or 6 nights a week, different place every night, and for months on end. And I think I had a bit of a nervous breakdown. I just went crazy one night. I said something and no one listened to me, and I lost my temper, put my fist through a window. And I think I was going through something then. I was pretty depressed. about it.
What about you, Ian?
Well, I quit the business in '73. I decided I'd had enough, and I left the band after giving them 9 months' notice, and I just quit totally. And I had a recording studio. Well, not totally, because I had a recording studio in London, so I was involved on the periphery with semi-productions and things like that, but really wasn't that interested in it. And I got involved in motorbikes and other things, and didn't even think about it until Rog invited me to the Royal Albert Hall. He was doing a production of The Butterfly Ball, which he'd written, and somebody hadn't turned up for one of the parts. So he phoned me the day or two before and said, "Can you help me out, mate?" Yeah, no problem. So I went along in my suit and my short hair, and Vincent Price
didn't recognise you.
They did, actually. He walked on stage and the place erupted.
Yeah,
It was a great welcome.
I didn't know what was going on. I thought Vincent Price was narrating from the organ loft in this great peacock chair, I remember, and we were talking in the bar afterwards, and he said, "I didn't know what was happening." I said, "Well, I didn't know what was happening either." I said, "It's just amazing." And he said, "It was for you." And I said, "I know." I was very emotional, and I suddenly realised, oh, it's the stupidest thing I've ever done. You know, I've got this thing all wrong. I don't, you know, just because I can't imagine that I could achieve any more success or achieve anything more musically than I have with Deep Purple, that doesn't mean to say I can't enjoy music. And so I wrote 4 songs the next day and put myself in the studio and very clumsily got back into the business, tripping over all the way, but not following any of the rules, rebelling and not wanting to fit in. There's something had happened inside me during those early years with Purple that turned me into a rebel forever.
Are you still?
Yeah, absolutely.
How does your family handle that?
Oh, I'm a pussycat when I get home, you know. I mean, that's not a problem in that sense. Musical rebel. I mean, against the business and that sort of thing. If people say black, I say white, whatever. And I don't mean it harmfully, and I'm a good team player. If we're all sort of we take a vote in this band on anything, and if one person says they don't want to do it, we don't do it.